Have you ever noticed you keep ending up in the same situations, different people, different places, different season of life, but somehow the same emotional outcome? You keep attracting the same relationship patterns, the same money struggles, the same self-doubt, the same triggers, the same endings, and after a while you start asking yourself, why does this keep happening to me? But here's the deeper truth. Sometimes it is not happening to you. Sometimes it is happening through a subconscious loop that has not been healed yet. A subconscious loop is an old mental, emotional, or energetic pattern that keeps repeating in the background of your life, not because you want it, but because your subconscious mind believes it is familiar, and to the subconscious, familiar can feel safer than free, even when familiar is painful. Hi, I'm Spiritual Sojourns, and I want to share 5 signs you're trapped in a subconscious loop with you. By the end of this video, you may finally understand why certain cycles keep repeating. Let's get into it. Sign number 1, you keep attracting the same lesson in different forms, different relationship, same abandonment wound, different job, same feeling of being undervalued, different friendship, same pattern of overgiving, different opportunity, same fear that makes you shrink. At some point, life stops sending hints and starts sending repeat episodes. And you may think, why do I keep meeting people like this? Why do I keep ending up here? Why does this always happen? But the deeper question is, what part of me still believes this pattern is normal? Because subconscious loops do not always look obvious. They can show up as chemistry, they can show up as comfort, they can show up as urgency, they can show up as something that feels familiar, but familiar is not always healthy. Sometimes familiar is just an old wound, wearing a new face. The loop breaks when you stop asking, why are they like this? And start asking, why does this version of me keep accepting this? That question right there is where your power starts coming back. Sign number 2, you react before you reflect. Someone says something, and instantly your body responds. You get defensive, you shut down, you over-explain, you people please. You assume rejection before anyone actually rejects you, and sometimes that is not your conscious mind making a choice. That is your nervous system replaying an old survival response. Because a trigger is not always about what happened. Sometimes it is about what the moment reminded your body of. That is why some reactions feel bigger than the situation. A delayed text feels like abandonment. A simple correction feels like criticism. A boundary feels like rejection. Someone else's success feels like you are falling behind. The present moment touched an old emotional file, and your subconscious said, I know this scene. Let me run the old program. But old programs cannot create new realities. So the next time you feel yourself reacting, pause, breathe, and ask yourself, is this really happening right now? Or is my past trying to speak through this moment? That pause is powerful because the moment you pause, you interrupt the loop. And when you interrupt the loop, you create a new choice. Sign number 3. Peace feels uncomfortable. This one is sneaky because you can say you want peace, but when peace finally shows up, your subconscious may not trust it. You meet calm people and suddenly you feel suspicious. You get a healthy opportunity and suddenly you procrastinate. You enter a quiet season and your mind starts creating problems. You finally get treated well and you start looking for the catch. That is a subconscious loop. Because if your body is used to chaos, peace can feel unfamiliar. And when your nervous system has been trained to survive, calm can feel like danger. So instead of receiving peace, you may disrupt it. You overthink. You assume the worst. You pick fights. You go back to toxic people. You create stress just to feel normal again. Not because you want pain, but because part of you learned how to function inside instability. Chaos became familiar. Stress became identity. Survival became personality. But listen closely. Just because you are good at surviving does not mean you were meant to live in survival mode forever. Sometimes peace feels strange because your nervous system is detoxing from dysfunction. Do not run back to the storm. Just because the calm feels unfamiliar, you are not bored, you are healing. You are not missing chaos. You are adjusting to safety. Sign number 4, You keep repeating the same story about yourself. I'm always unlucky. People always leave me. I never finish what I start. I'm bad with money. I'm too old to start over. Good things don't happen for me. Be careful with the story you keep telling, because your subconscious mind is always listening, and repetition becomes programming. Every time you say, I always, you may be reinforcing a loop. I always mess things up. I always attract the wrong people. I always get overlooked. That phrase becomes a cage, and your subconscious starts looking for proof that the story is true. It will ignore the evidence that says you are growing. It will overlook the moments where you did choose better. It will keep you emotionally loyal to an old version of yourself. This is why healing is deeper than positive thinking. You cannot just place an affirmation over a wound and call it transformation. You have to ask, where did this story come from? Who taught me to believe this? When did I start identifying with this pain? And who would I be if this story was no longer true? Because sometimes the identity you are defending is the identity that is limiting you. The loop breaks when you stop saying, this is just how I am, and start saying, this is how I learned to survive, but it is not who I came here to become. Sign number 5. You know better, but you keep choosing the same pattern. Or is my past trying to speak through this moment? That pause is powerful, because the moment you pause, you interrupt the loop. And when you interrupt the loop, you create a new choice. You can know the habit is hurting you and still repeat it. You can know you deserve better and still settle for less. You can know the opportunity is good for you and still avoid it. Why? Because the subconscious mind does not change just because the conscious mind got inspired for 10 minutes. The subconscious changes through repetition, through safety, through regulation, through new choices, through becoming a different version of yourself. One decision at a time. You do not break the loop by judging yourself. You break the loop by choosing differently. While the old version of you is still begging for the familiar, that is the real work. When you want to chase, but you choose self-respect. When you want to over-explain, but you choose peace. When you want to shrink, but you choose visibility. When you want to quit, but you choose discipline. When you want to return to the old pattern, but you choose your future self instead. That is how you rewire, not through one magical moment, but through small moments where you stop betraying yourself. Every time you choose differently, you tell your subconscious, we do not live there anymore. We do not beg for love anymore. We do not confuse chaos with passion anymore. We do not abandon ourselves to be accepted anymore. And eventually, the loop gets weaker, the pattern loses power, and the new version of you becomes the default. So if you recognize yourself in these signs, do not use this video to shame yourself. Use it to wake yourself up, because awareness is not punishment. Awareness is power. The loop can only keep running when you are unconscious of it. But once you see the pattern, you can pause it, question it, interrupt it, rewrite it. You are not broken. You are not behind. You are not doomed to repeat the same cycle forever. You are simply being invited to become conscious of the parts of you that have been operating on autopilot. And once you become conscious, you get your choice back. You get your power back. You get your future back. So ask yourself, what pattern am I finally ready to stop repeating? Because the moment you stop feeding the old loop, you start creating a new reality. Move with clarity, move with integrity, move like the universe is listening, because it is. Like, share, subscribe, and always remember, keep elevating.